And we are back with another episode of the Fellowship of Fandom. I'm here with Jen. I'm here with Doc. We're back for episode 7. A lot happened in that episode 7, but before we jump in, I'm going to let my illustrious group of partners here introduce yourself and just say where they can find you before we jump into this. So, Jen, toss up to you first.
Hi, I'm Jen. I go by, I call myself your favorite nerdiqua. And if you don't know by now, I'm a big nerd. I love things nerdy. And yeah, my brain did this. So we need to talk about everything.
For sure. And then obviously Doc, he's here, fresh from Zamunda.
Yeah.
The Prince of Zamunda.
I literally just got off the plane.
Yeah.
Yes.
My son works. No, go ahead.
Man, I say that is one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's my favorite comedy, man. I think it's the greatest comedy of all time, man. But I know we want to go ahead and jump into this one. I know we got time. Man, we'll give a synopsis here. Oh man, okay. Wait a minute. I'm doing something here because I got out and got back in. But give me a second. We'll get this loaded up so we can go through it. So, in the Rings of Power, Season 2, Episode 7, titled Doomed to Die, tensions reach their peak as Sauron tightens his grip on Eregion. The episode begins with Celebrimbor forging the 9 rings for mortal men under Sauron's influence, leading to devastating consequences. As Eregion comes under siege from Adar's forces, Celebrimbor realizes the depth of Sauron's deception, but is unable to prevent further tragedy, including the death of Myrddania, who is manipulated into her demise by Sauron. Meanwhile, Elrond and his army arrive to counter the orc threat, but the situation becomes complicated when Galadriel is captured and used as leverage by Adar. Despite this, Aragorn refuses to negotiate and continues to prepare for battle with help from the dwarves, even sharing a controversial kiss with Galadriel as a means of passing her a tool to escape. The episode culminates in a chaotic battle for Eregion, hopefully hanging on until Durin and the dwarf army arrives. Also, Galadriel escapes her captors with the help of Arondir. Got some stuff to say about him though later. Simultaneously, Prince Durin rallies the dwarves, delivering a powerful speech about dwarven loyalty and their commitment to aiding their allies. As he prepares to march with his forces up to Eregion, Durin's father goes mad, continuing to dig and slay dwarves who get in his way. Durin must grapple with the weight of his decision, knowing that staying to fight it could leave Khazad-dûm vulnerable, yet abandoning his allies could spell disaster for Middle Earth. During the battle and making it through the night, Adar and his forces approach Eregion as Elrond looks to the north for Durin's army that appears to not be coming. So that's the synopsis so far of this episode, and we're going to dive into each part of that. So who wants to go first?
Let Doc go. Let him go. He picked up the mic already.
Actually, I was gonna give it to the lady first, and then I'm gonna catch that thing and run it on the end zone.
Okay, yeah. So Jen, drop back, make the pass. What you got?
I say this a lot. My neighbors know when I'm watching something nerdy because I begin yelling at the TV. I don't know how many times I vocally yelled at the TV not because I didn't like the episode, but because of everything that happened in it. So, Myrddania for the first one. Every time she touched this fool, I'm like, would you please stop touching him? Because he's going to be your demise. And then look what happened. 2 + 2 still equaled 4, and she died.
Exactly.
That was her gift that he told her, I'm gonna give you something.
When he said that, I was like, oh.
So
yeah.
This might be a controversial thing, but I did not cry when this happened.
at all. Not one tear. Not one drop of
We
tear.
didn't either, but when
yes,
I saw what he did for it to happen, I was like, son of a.
It's like he hit that bumper in like a pinball game, man. You just flipped it, and it was.
It went boing, gosh.
Oh man!
A few bumps and went back down.
Exactly.
Oh, she was on my nerves.
And Jen, anything? I'll give it to you. Let's go through it. Highlights and takeaways from this episode. I know that's number one with her continually touching Sauron and her demise. Her gift is this.
I see someone in the comments that I know, and she says she wanted him. I'm like, yes.
She wanted him really she got bad. Every piece. She got every piece of what she wanted. Look at her. Look at her. All that.
Hi, Mina.
Hi, Mina. How you doing?
But really, like Jen, I'll let you continue. We got a lot to jump into and go over. But
gosh, I have to say one of the highlights for me throughout this entire series, and I'm really going to say it here, is the caliber of the actors in the show. Just when you think of where we started with them, and some of them from season 1, and you see just the complete change in their physique, their eyes, and I know it's with costuming and makeup, but the way they're portraying these emotions is really hitting. Even with Celebrimbor, and you see the conviction of his eyes when it's finally revealed to him when he name drops himself. He goes, "I have many names," and he's just like, "Oh." Just and then like even King Durin, this actor, I'm just again impressed because where we see him in season 1 and where he's come to, and just the way he's portraying that deconstructuring in his mind and how he himself is going mad. I'm just impressed left and right with everyone, and just how the effects of Sauron's power and manipulation have really taken a toll on these characters. Their mental, their physical, emotional intelligence is out the window. It doesn't exist anymore. So I have been finding for myself, I have really just been impressed by this entire cast and seeing their evolution with these characters. And as we move forward with the events, that's a big highlight for me because it really it stands out each time. Another, gosh, there's just so freaking much.
Would you like me to go? I have it outlined. So if we want to go through it that way.
Can we just go through the outline? Because I feel like I'm going to be talking too long and Doc won't get his chance to take the play.
I'm going to get
I do like doing these like initial reactions though, these initial highlights. So
I'm happy. I was angry, but not because I didn't like the episode, but because of the things that happened within the episode, like Meridania. And I'm just like, you see?
Yeah. Highlights, takeaways. Doc, what you got for us, man?
Y'all tell me, who is this?
Come on, man.
Who is that? Your man sitting in there in bliss. And that's what it was a false reality. In bliss for weeks. His whole city is going to hell. Yep. I'm talking, and when he snapped out of that spell, this is my first takeaway. When he snapped out of that spell, oh God, it hit him so hard.
I know.
Bro, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, how powerful is Sauron to have this man under a spell so cold that you can't feel shit hitting you in the face. Your whole face is toe up.
And did you see? Do you see your whole workshop?
Yes, your whole forge is destroyed.
Yeah.
And yet you
like,
still
he doesn't realize he's probably gotten injuries in this.
Exactly.
Reality.
But I must say one thing. I'm gonna say one thing positive about this clown. He makes some beautiful jewelry. That man makes some beautiful rings, dog. I give you that. I give him that. Them rings were gorgeous. All 9 of them.
You can't take like what he's. Jen, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing because I don't want to cut you off too long, Dion. So this actor, here's a really cool thing about this actor. He actually went to the forge where they actually forged the rings for the show, and he made the rings.
Oh wow! Yeah.
he actually participated in the process of making these rings for the show.
That's what's up.
So like he actually
But
made the rings, which is really cool.
I give him that. They were absolutely gorgeous. But after I got over how beautiful those rings were, I just started looking at him like, you clown ass mother.
You can't put that on him.
I put it on him because let me tell you why I put it on him. Listen, let me finish. I put it on him because when he was talking to Galadriel, the first thing out of his mouth was, I knew who he was, but I wanted what I wanted. I don't give a damn about this. Do you understand me?
I've been saying from the beginning, his vanity was his downfall.
And his pride.
Yes, and his pride, definitely. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, Doc, because when he basically said he was just ignoring all of these little things.
Exactly.
And he just like for you know, because he wanted to do the thing that he has done. Like there was another episode where he slams his hand on the table. It's like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I am this. It's like, oh, okay. Breathe.
So that was my biggest, that was my first really big takeaway.
Yeah.
My second one was my homeboy. And it ain't the one you thinking about.
Who's that?
I think I know which one. I want to see if I'm right though.
You know who it is.
I would love to know.
My elf homie.
Yes.
That went to go talk to Durin in the privacy of the Khazad-dûm so he can get some help. Let me tell you something.
Oh, Elrond is what you mean.
Elrond. Elrond. You got to pronounce it right. Elrond. When Elrond was in the middle of that swamp and Durin did not come over that bridge, over that beautiful mountain, all I was thinking was, yesterday.
Man.
Yesterday.
That was,
and I was like, man, and he was sitting there like, Durin will come. I was like, no, he ain't coming, bro. I'm sorry, he ain't coming. That's when I realized why Legolas from the Lord of the Rings and Gimli had such a big problem, because that was the battle where the dwarves supposedly left them hanging.
Well, let's talk about this, because I think that's what we were going to talk. We were going to get to that too, and that was going to be one of my questions for Jen. Is this actually the point where, you know, that rivalry between the dwarves and elves begin? Is this that moment? Because I don't feel like, for some reason in my heart, I feel like Durin is going to show up somehow, or we're going to come through the door somehow. You know, the door that they talked about.
I didn't have time to do a whole lot of research because they just pack so much in here before. I believe so, but I could be wrong. But I think this is the moment where that is fraying.
Mina said Elrond. Sorry about that, Jen.
I put it up, my bad.
Put it up. Mina is actually one of my friends. Mina, please correct me in the comments if I'm saying something wrong. I appreciate you. I believe that this is the moment that is happening between the elves and the dwarves, because I couldn't recall if there was something else in lore history. I didn't have time to research it the way I would want to. So if I discover anything else, I will correct myself next week.
Okay, because for some reason I don't know why I'm thinking like, because we've teased the door, the gateway, that was in Fellowship, so they could easily kind of get there, right? Or, you know, at least in my mind, that's how I thought.
They can't.
They not.
They can't easily get there. That's the issue, because it was a 7-day journey for them to ride those horses there. Imagine the elves ain't got no. I mean, not the elves, but the dwarves ain't got no horses. They was supposed to be traveling underground to get there to surprise the Uruk and the orcs with, hey, we with the elves. Y'all messed with the wrong group. Now let's get them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and again, like I said last week, there was a bunch of lore, Easter eggs, and callbacks wherein Sauron goes to King Durin to ask for Mithril, and they show that moment in the fire with Balrog. That was an Easter egg of, oh, he's going to do something so that way when this does happen, the dwarfs can't come, because just the timing of the anger of the king, who is still wearing the ring that's being manipulated by Sauron, all of a sudden gets angry enough to go start digging, to where he attacks his own people. And his wife basically says, call it off. He can't go because it's gonna awaken the beast. Like
when that happened, my heart dropped.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for Durin the Younger, because all he wants to do is support his friend, and he really regards Elrond as a brother. Like they're that tight. So the one time he doesn't want to fail his friend is this is the pivotal moment, and he's literally stuck between a rock and a hard place, because he has to make a choice. Do I risk not having a home, my children and wife dead after this war, or do I stay and defend my home and hope that everything turns out for my friend and I find a way to make it up to him later? I can't imagine that.
Considering the army that Elrond had and that the elves came with, and seeing the last standing elves at the end, there's no way they
Can I say one thing?
But before that, I meant to look her up, but can we give it up for this character?
Yes. Yes.
You want to talk about going out like a G? She
had a Wolverine moment.
I was like this the whole time. I was like, get it.
She had a Wolverine moment where he had all them arrows stuck in his back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
She was like, I ain't going out until I took the shot, and she took the shot.
Took the shot, made the shot, like done.
Beautiful.
I was like, I meant to, I forgive myself. I meant to look her up. I meant to look who this actor was, but I was like, that was the hardest thing that I saw in this episode.
And then just the way she died, that last arrow that hit her, and she was like, I'm out of here.
Okay.
Like, I think I again, with the acting, I think she had a moment, because she has already so many arrows in her. So she's like fighting to focus so hard that was like so automatic. Now she has to fight for that automation to take the shot.
But to take the arrow out of myself,
right?
Light it on fire. And then I was like,
gangster.
Like that man, boy, Rambo didn't even do anything.
Dude, but can I say, man, your boy Elrond, he cold with them things, boy. Did you see him walking through them orcs? Did you see him walking them down?
Well, he told Adar like he hasn't seen him like he said something pretty cocky, like he hasn't seen him with a sword or something like that.
Yeah.
And my
man, he's like calling out, basically telling him, listen, you think you could take me out? Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, man,
he walked through him. It was.
Oh man.
I give him that, but your man Adar, your man's been around for a while, cuz. He been around for a while. So let's go back some history right quick. Morgoth.
Oh, you got some history for us?
Morgoth is a Valar god.
Yes.
Sauron was his lieutenant. Adar was his lieutenant. He been around for a while, cuz he know war, he know strategy. That's why he got old girl to give her all the information for the army, where they was gonna be, how they was gonna be, when they was coming.
But think about this too, like just the act of war of like cutting off the river, so they could have a ground assault.
Brilliant.
And I always say this. I've said this in every Lord of the Rings movie, TV show. I don't think the orcs get enough credit for being the craftsmen that they are.
They don't. They don't, man. The trebuchets that they made were the biggest trebuchets I ever seen in my life on any movie, bro.
like they're craftsmen, man. But obviously they're building weapons of war.
Yeah. But you can't tell me that wasn't a genius move for them to destroy the mountain and block the river so they could cross the river instead of worrying about having to swim or try to figure out another way to take more weeks to get to where they was trying to get to.
Yeah.
No, but it was, but yeah. So I guess those were still our initial highlights, right? So what we can do now is sort of let's piece together what we sort of have or where we want to go with everything. So if we start from the top, let's stay with Celebrimbor, because I think he is this is his episode, right? This is his episode where he discovers that things are repeating. This man is in Groundhog's Day in his workshop.
Yeah.
And then once he had the fact that he had the no intellect left, I suppose, or the wherewithal to be like, I've seen this mouse again.
Yep.
I saw that mouse again.
Yep.
I seen this mouse again. He sat there and waited for it. Just so he could clock it. Even setting like a timer for the candle.
Yeah.
Was a pretty genius
and then that's when he also noticed, wait, the candle's not going down.
Not even a little bit. It was going down.
There's no drippings on the candle. Candles drip.
Yeah, and he discovered that.
That was one of the most wonderful spells I've ever seen on any magical show ever.
But it just shows you how sharp Celebrimbor really is, because the fact that he picked up on it so quickly, and he was like, wait.
But remember when I kept asking you,
yes,
aren't elves supposed to have some type of intuition? He had that intuition, and he ignored that intuition.
You might be right. Yeah. But again, it's like, it's hard, man. Like, say it's somebody saying, like, this is going to be your greatest work. We're going to put together your greatest work. The thing that you've been searching for, that holy grail forever, and you're given the opportunity to do it. I don't fault him.
But if you got to sign your soul over for that, I mean, I know a lot of people have done it. I ain't that kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's understandable, man.
I think what with Celebrimbor's character is, I think before Sauron, like if you were to have this hypothetical conversation with him, like, what if this happened and this happened, he would say the same way. Oh, I would know, and I just wouldn't do it. And then he did it.
And he did it.
And he did it
because that's what he wanted. I mean, and that's why I kept asking, like, with yourself to get one of these rings. Do you have to be so pure you cannot be corrupted by a ring?
Well, here's the thing with the rings. So the rings, Sauron doesn't touch the 3 elven rings. And the other thing that Sauron doesn't know is who has the rings. He leaves before he knows who has them, which is why the elves are not really being manipulated, because he doesn't know who has them. And then the only thing that Sauron did with the dwarves was touching the Mithril, which was just another level of just, just that simple touch. It's like just wrecking Khazad-dûm. And then now with the Rings of Men, and he actually uses his own blood, which when Celebrimbor puts it in the fire, that's an Easter egg to the One Ring, because he takes it out of the fire and touches it. It's cool to the touch. It's not even hot.
Dion, tell me something. How disgusting was it when Celebrimbor spilled that cauldron over, or that little cup over that was supposed to be in the Mithril, and it was all black blood on his hands, and it looked like his hands started to deform a little bit when he had that. Man, my heart sunk again, but I still ain't feel nothing for him. My heart sunk for the fact that he just destroyed all of Middle Earth because of his pride. And I was just thinking about, man, you have got to be kidding me. And the spell, like I said, the magic that Sauron has, man, it's I know I'm mesmerized by magic, but I love magic. But the way he manipulated all these people mentally, and of course with his silver tongue, and then he even had all the elves thinking he was the one running Eragon. You know what I'm saying?
But see, like, that's even the thing too. Like, Celebrimbor wasn't obviously with O'Girl, he wasn't the only one. I mean, like, this scene alone was
one of the coldest scenes of the whole show.
Like,
episode 7.
The fact that he says to him, he's like, "Do you really think you're the only one I manipulated?"
Exactly.
Just like he manipulated everyone.
Every single person.
He's really being a puppet master. Like Adar, the decisions of the dwarves, like everyone's being manipulated, and yet at the same time, the way this show is illustrated is like they think they're still ahead of him. It's like, you're not.
No, I mean, and then
so Mina said he's a mayor. I hope I'm saying that right. Of course, yeah, we know he's stronger than all this, man. And another little Easter egg, I'm pretty sure both of y'all caught it when the dwarf came and said your dad is chopping through him like wheat. You know what I'm saying? That's how Sauron was chopping through him on First Lord of the Rings.
I didn't pick that up as Easter egg, but I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Khazad-dûm for a second. So, we see that the rest of the dwarves see what's happening to King Durin. We see that now. So, I mean, Disa and Prince Durin, they were ready to throw hands if necessary.
Oh yeah.
But thankfully they didn't have to. So that started the whole, the king was watching. King Durin was watching while Prince Durin was getting the troops together or getting Khazad-dûm, hyping up Khazad-dûm. And we didn't even see that visual of him like striking other people down. But to see that, like the dwarf come back all bloodied, you're like, okay, we don't even have to see this to know.
No,
just got real there.
It's enough to communicate how bad it really is.
Exactly.
Because the first thing Durin the Younger asks is for Disa, and he says, "I don't know." So now it's like, my own father probably just killed my wife.
Yep.
And I can't imagine, like, there's so many emotions, because another thing that Disa says when she's talking to Durin the Younger is like, that man was more of a father to me than my own.
Yeah.
I love him, but he's not him anymore. So it's just that interesting conflict. And then, like, what broke the straw on the camel's back for Navarre, and when he joined the Younger, was when, the king still says, you need to reclaim the mountain and go back digging, which basically says, you take out my kid. And he's like, no, I'm done. Nope, I can't.
That's when he realized he had
really
lost.
And that he's so far gone that he's not even thinking about his own son, who he actually really loves.
And with that, he's shown in like last season and a half. So we've known that, but to see the corruption of that ring, right? So we got that going in Khazad-dûm. We know what's in that mountain. We know what's going. Well, we know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
So we jump over. Let's jump back over. Man, we only jumped about 2 places. This was probably the most concise sort of episode we've had, where it was like one flowing story throughout.
You're just seeing where the characters are throughout this long moment in time.
Yeah. So we move a little bit over to, let me see, pull up my notes, because I feel like we've jumped around, but I enjoy that we're like pulling everything out. So even just go to Elrond again. Let's go there. He's commander, right? And he's in the Fellowship of the Ring, you see like Elrond, so you're like, okay, he's been in battle before, but up until this point for this show, we hadn't seen him walk through anybody or do anything physical like this. Then they make it through the night. We gave our props to our MVP of that. But just let's talk about like when that battle was over and look to the north, and there was no one to the north. Very reminiscent of Gandalf telling Aragorn to look to the north.
That was a purposeful Easter egg. It's an Easter egg to what's coming.
Yeah. So how did we feel about that? Doc, you told us a little bit, but Jen, that moment there, knowing that Durin might pick Khazad-dûm over his friend.
It's like I said before, he's literally stuck between a rock and a hard place, because, like I said, it's either he picks that his home will be destroyed by Balrog and have nothing left to come home to, not even his wife and children, or defend his home and hopes his best friend makes it through the night, even though he wants to be there for his best friend, because this is like the one thing he should not fail in is this. But it's one of those moments. It's like when you learn about the Titanic, you're just watching and waiting for it to sink, because you know what's to come. So it's
good analogy. Yeah.
It's really just like, oh man, this is one of those moments where here we go. It's getting worse.
Because the thing is, there's no better after this, right?
To where we're leading to, and the fact that they wanted that so far they're slated for 5 seasons of the show, so we've got 3 more to go. And if our assumptions are right, that we're working up to the battle that's in the prologue of the Fellowship of the Ring, that's where we're building to. So it's gonna keep getting worse.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when Elrond was on a bended knee, looking north, saying, Durin will come. And when the king looked down at him, and was like, get
Hey,
in
King-
ranks. When he
King
said that,
Yeah.
I knew it was over with then, bro. Yeah, he was old. He was put him to sleep with that staff, bro. And the king was on point. Which my next question is, the ring that the king has can manipulate water. Yes, it can manipulate everything, right? Does he know that?
Well, no, the king's ring, from what I remember in lore, the king's ring has that we're not sure the exact power it has, but there are hints that it does control the elements, which is why it is believed that when Elrond comes into the possession of this ring, because this is the ring he's going to get, is how if you're going strictly from the book, Elrond uses the power of the ring to call up the waters against the Nazgul when Frodo crosses over into Rivendell. They believe that was Elrond using the power of the ring. So I don't believe that's fully confirmed in lore from what I know. So it is possible, but to answer your question, no, they still don't know the type of power they have within these rings, which is why when a few episodes back, when Galadriel actually heals someone from an arrow wound, they were shook, like, oh.
So with all of what you just said, that makes me think, as intelligent as the king of the elves is, he didn't even figure out how powerful the ring he had on could help them in a war.
Well, because remember, they're also fearful of the harm it could do, because Sauron has manipulation in it. So like they're still on edge about that, which is why, like, when you see Elrond last episode saying, Galadriel was right, like reality setting in, like, oh dang, she really wasn't being manipulated by the ring as we thought, like that kind of realization setting in, because that was the fear.
I just would have thought that he would have eventually did something, pulled the ring up, pulled the mountain down on somebody, something. But he didn't even use the ring to help them in the battle.
Well,
at least from what we saw.
And we see that the ring gets taken too.
Well, no, I'm talking about the ring that the High King has.
Okay.
The ring that the High King has. Because, he has the most powerful of the three rings of the elves. So I was asking Jen, like, if he has such a powerful ring, why don't he use it to help them in this battle?
From what I know, he doesn't know, and everyone is still very apprehensive about these rings and not wanting to use them to a degree, because it's like, well, what happens? Because I mean, like, look at King Durin. He's not really using. Well, King Durin is using the ring, but look how it's like just completely throwing him off his axis. But then the way the elven rings were made is not the same way the dwarven rings were made, nor the same way the rings for men were made. Amina mentioned that earlier. Thank you for putting that in there.
And I think we got this sort of answers that question too.
Okay.
So not answers, but answers this, yeah.
Moshin, I thought all three rings are equally powerful that the elves have. So
I would say my opinion is they are to a degree, but then no, actually, let me take that back. According to lore, no, the most powerful of the three rings is the one that the High King has. That's the most powerful according to Tolkien lore. It could look that way because if you were to really tap into that power and see what they can do, it could really give the illusion of, oh dang, these things are
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But no, according to Tolkien lore, the High King's ring is the most powerful one. And yes, Nenya does have the ability to heal. That is correct.
Okay, cool.
So also, go ahead.
No. I just thought when the king looked down at him when he was saying Durin will come, I didn't think he was gonna turn around with that staff and start whipping up on them people. I thought he was gonna turn around with his hand and go, out of here, like show me something. It didn't happen. That wasn't it.
No, it's one of those things like when you're sitting in reality, something that's supposed to happen is not going to happen, but then you still say to yourself, like what we saw with Elrond.
Yep.
Durin will come.
Man, I almost teared up, man, because that hurt my heart, man. When
I was holding on to my shirt.
Your man came up the mountain. When that one dude came over that mountain on that horse, I was like, "Oh my god!"
No, but I saw the one dude was like, "Wait, he did?"
Yeah. All I know, Mark Murphy was sitting in my lap. I squeezed him a little bit, like, "Oh man, he ain't coming." Murphy looked up.
Yeah. Like, are you okay?
But that's what, like, I guess it goes into me being like, I don't know, maybe naive almost, but hopeful. But it doesn't get any better. We know this.
Yeah. No, I say this in my Star Wars rooms that I do with my moderators with certain shows. It's like, am I still that gullible that I didn't see that? How am I still that gullible?
Yeah,
man.
I mean, it hooked you though. I enjoyed this episode, but I think Jen and I were talking about before we went on the controversial kiss of.
I have the timestamp.
Go ahead.
Everybody, calm down.
Dude.
Let's breathe.
Dude.
Relax. First of all, they're cousins.
Yes, they are.
Elrond,
but they are thrice removed.
No.
They can be kissing cousins. I'm just saying. All I heard was, I don't want to close my eyes. I fall asleep because I miss you, baby. That's all I heard when that happened. What?
My whole thought,
he kissed the toes off that girl, boy.
My whole thought was like, wait a minute. Jen told me they were related. That was my initial reaction.
No, I don't think it's a real kiss because I have a timestamp. At timestamp 29:08, when he asked Adar, if this is going to be the last time I see her before you basically cut her head off, can I say goodbye?
Right.
Elrond touches the clip of his cloak.
Yeah.
And that's where that little thing that.
And he did it so smooth. He was like, poop.
Right, like he looked like he was just adjusting his cloak. Mm-hmm. Basically, put it in that little thing on his armor, and just used the kiss to hand it over to her to make it seem like, oh, they're lovers, they're cousins.
Yeah. We get that, Jen.
Yeah,
we know how cousins got down back then.
No, we agree. She doesn't see it as a real kiss.
Oh yeah, Peter, thank you. That is
mother-in-law.
Yeah, we know. We just tripping, but the way, bro, he sold it because none of the orcs expected, even the Uruk himself didn't expect, nothing to come up after that.
So I want to go. I have my notes too because we've been jumping around, which is completely fine, man. I'm not panicking, but anyway, but the one orc that's like his number 2 or number 1, that Adar's number 1 or so, the one who said, like, once they brought in the troll, he said, they'll kill us all. Like, don't, like, I thought we were your children. Like, and
I thought you loved us.
Yeah, and he even backed out when during that like last battle or last push. Mm-hmm. So what, do we have like a rogue sort of orc out here? Is this like a Finn Star Wars situation?
Well,
where it's
remember,
like, I need to go.
Two episodes ago, or was it last episode, when those 3 orcs were running around in the forest talking about they're going to call us deserters? You don't remember that part?
Oh, that's what they said.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
there are factions of orcs that they not down with the war just because my old boy want to go and kill Sauron.
Well, I think what's happening with Adar's second in command, and I don't think this character has a name. I have to look it up.
Yeah.
It's like with Navarre with King Durin. It's like they on the outside they're seeing, wow, they're actually, something's not right, something's not adding up, because Adar is still being manipulated by Sauron to a degree because because Galadriel was right, he brought the army that Sauron needs. Like everyone is just coming to him. And I saw this really cool thank you.
Fandom calls him Glug.
Glug.
Glug. All right, we'll call him Glug.
Yeah, let's do it. I like it.
Because I saw this really cool behind the scenes where they were talking to the composer for the show, and when they were talking about this moment from last week, where Sauron raises his arms.
Yeah.
Someone said
the orchestra warming up.
Yes, thank you. That where they said something. He's like, wait, can we literally do that?
Yeah.
And so they started recording the orchestra warming up on different days, and basically all that noise you hear is all those different
that's dope.
Different days of the orchestra warming up. So when he's literally doing this, it's literally everything coming into play. So it's very, very such a powerful scene.
He is the conductor of this orchestra, and it's genius. That's like I told y'all last week. Like I said, my takeaway from last week was the music, man. It was that.
The music.
Oh my God!
It's just
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So with after the controversial kiss and passing along the tool to get out,
Everyone calm down. It was a ploy. It was a
it was all
ploy.
yeah, it was all a tactic. That's what I mean. Come on,
Calm down. Not ruined. Nothing is retconned. It's fine.
But we move on and she escapes, but she's also helped out by Arendir, who shows up out of nowhere.
My guy.
Oh, you're a man.
Still my guy.
For real?
Still my guy. Even when look, he the one that took down Brody. Yeah, that's my guy.
Wait a minute.
Brody is the troll. I named him. Yes. Brody is the troll. I named him. When he walked out the woods, I said, that's Brody.
Okay,
it took coming to wreck shop.
It took everybody and their mama to take down Brody. Arendir sliced the ankle, and that might have been it.
You gonna stop hating on Arendir.
And Arendir, okay, let's go back to Arendir. Do we think he's done for because he took stab? He was not.
I think he's out of there, bro.
He did.
I mean, I told you last week that he was an integral part of this thing because if it wasn't for him, Galadriel would have been dead.
Yeah, but we know like it wouldn't have happened to one person.
Yeah, no, like here's the thing, because we know where this is going. Here's the people who are not dying. Elrond, Galadriel.
Yeah.
Because we need them later.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sauron right now.
Right. I think he's dead, but then I could be wrong.
Yeah, I know.
He got laid out pretty good.
Hey, he stabbed him up twice though.
Easily though, and Doc, we've had this discussion. He got taken down easily.
But I told you, Adar. I kept telling y'all that man is more powerful than he leads on. Oh, really? That's what we doing? That's what we doing?
He pulled up the crap.
That's what we doing?
Say what?
We know Legolas is a cold-blooded piece of work. We know this. And he cold with that thing, bro. He cold with everything he pick up. Arrows, sword, fist, feet. Look, shields. We know he cold. But he had to get the training from somewhere. What if my dude did train him? You don't know he 3,000 years old, bro.
Well, he's not training anybody right now.
He gonna have to heal up if he's still alive. But I'm just saying, he at that point, this is the lowest and the highest point of his life. He found the person he's been looking for and trying to take out, and then he finally get a sword in him, but then he gets stabbed up too. I mean, he already told Galadriel he can have my life. He already took everything else from me.
Right. So I feel like with the way the show was going, because I have to see what happens next week, because I don't know if we're going to go back to Númenor, and who I say is Gandalf. Context.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is Gandalf.
Well, he's still out in them woods searching for his staff because it's been about 3 weeks. So he got probably enough.
Which the Harfoots call a Gant. They call it a Gant, and I bet you they call a hat an Alf.
So I'm pretty sure you're 100% right, but I'm just trying to see, man. Hey, can he find that staff already, man? I'm getting nervous.
That's a journey, man. That's gonna be a long journey for him.
So it's gonna be interesting to see where we land next week, because especially like what they did with the Queen Regent and why am I blanking out on his name?
Farazan?
Elendil?
No,
Elendil.
Yeah, thank you. Oh. Yeah, him. Because there's some things I know in lore I don't want to say yet, because I'm like,
you want to see if they're gonna put it in?
Are we changing what I think we're changing? Because technically in lore we do this, but if you're not gonna do that, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see where we're gonna land, because
that's what I'm saying. Moshi, we're on the same page, bro. I said the same thing. If he would have put 2 of them hot things in his arrows, it's over with.
Man, Adar is like Loki.
And I don't think
Loki catch them.
I don't think he'll catch no arrows like that. I don't think he that cold. He might be like one of the smartest, on this joint, but I don't think he that cold just to catch an arrow.
Keep in mind, this elf is still grieving the love that died. He's also grieving. And in war, He just got redeemed by the ends. You know, he's been through a lot emotionally lately. Can we cut him some slack?
And he out there by himself, man. He ain't just him and them
He
arrows.
had to leave his son, whose hair doesn't move no matter how much.
So you just gonna give Theo to him? Theo belongs to him. That's what we do.
Until the hair moves and we see the revealing of the ears.
Yeah, Jen is like, until I see ears at the top of his ear.
like with the end scene, his hair doesn't. He's looking up 90 feet up, and the hair
didn't move. Hey, she want to see them ears, bro.
I need to see the ears.
But no, we hadn't seen him for like 3 episodes. Well, 2 episodes. Yeah, 2 episodes.
I think he's that baby's daddy.
Yeah, probably right. He probably is. Oh, that's funny.
It's like another show that's not within this universe, but it's like Ahsoka with Jason.
Oh yeah.
That's you know whose son, and the hair don't move either.
Oh yeah.
They hide the ears. I'm like, we all know who the father is. Just show the ears.
Yeah. But that's gonna be interesting once it's revealed. I'm kind of want to know myself now.
So with that, I know Jen, you were sort of leading to it, like just about next week's episode. That's the finale, right? We're rounding the bend on this.
Like,
so
I don't know how we're gonna land it. I mean, because they've left a lot of things open. So I don't know if some of it is meant to be opened until season 3, where they're gonna finish some of that out. Because we only saw once the evil wizard in the West, I believe, once, and we only talked about him. So I don't know if they're gonna do something next week where we see him one more time before we go, or
I think so because they showed a preview, a little teaser for episode 8, and they showed the Dark Wizard. Maybe talking
I haven't seen the teaser of episode 8.
It was really quick. You could piece some things together.
Okay.
For it. Even we know the Balrog's coming. This might be the episode where we get to that in the mountain.
Ooh,
so
dang.
yeah, they snipped together maybe like a 15 little second teaser at the end. Maybe not even that long. It felt like. But they didn't tell us.
I didn't watch all the way through the end of the credits. I was so upset. I was like, okay, I'm turning it off.
I think even though it's a TV show, Marvel has conditioned me to sit through everything. Yeah. So I know the gaffers. I know the I'm like, I know I've seen that guy named a few times. But I just sit to the end just to see the interview on the end too, because they always sort of add something pretty good there too.
That's true. Yeah. But no, it's going to be really interesting to see where we land and what that means, how season 3 is going to pick up. So we'll find out.
Doc, what do you think, man? Like, they got one more episode. We just had like the battle to sort of start off everything. So, that was a little appetizer for a battle.
Yeah, that little appetizer battle, man. I'm just, first of all, I want to know what's going on with Nori and Poppy. I want to see what's happening over there, right? Because I want to see, I want to see if those guys are going to come back and how the Herefoots are going to defend themselves, because they're not used to this kind of thing. You know, when the dude slapped, what's her name? Starts with the G. I forget her name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yes,
one of the stores,
the speaker of the stores. Yeah. They not used to that type of physical contact, man. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Also interested to see if. How much further along are they going to progress the show by, like, how many months? Like, will Gandalf found his staff? Will he go and save Nori and Poppy? I want to know what path he's going to take.
Yeah, because I think we're in the same, not sure, but we're still in this little same pocket of time, right? Like everything's happening at the same time in this, or is it just okay, right?
Yeah. So technically all of these events are happening at the same time. It's just all of these characters are spread out.
They're so spread.
Right now. So you have most of the the elves that we have been introduced to, where Celebrimbor is, and then the dwarfs are supposed to come. So you have most of those over there. And then you have Poppy and the rest of them going the other way.
Yeah.
So I want to know how they're going to tie it all together. That's what I'm really anxious to see.
I mean, here's another highlight. You know, the writing is so good that that I'm like, I don't know what you all are gonna do. I can't wait to see it.
I'm just enjoying the story and the
Mhm.
ride of this whole thing, and just trying to figure it out, like what we doing right now. Like, hey, what is gonna happen next week? Because
it's
I'm gonna tell you,
intriguing.
it's gonna be devastating. Whatever it happens, it's gonna be devastating, man. I'm gonna tell you, bro.
I'm gonna be crying again. I'm gonna be crying.
Can I just speak one time? Man, my dude Sauron is so cold with it, man. It's just hands. It's just spirit fingers, bro. That's what he doing. He and putting them down. You feel
Easily.
me?
He ain't even putting them up.
Exactly. They down here. He just, and then the way the last elf soldier came in and tried to stab him up, and he and came back with it, and the way he just so
like,
cold.
The thing I'm
he looked at Celebrimbor like, dude, I'm that guy.
The thing I look at the most. Oh, I got another question right after this. But the thing I take away from the most is, like, I think I may have brought this up in another episode. It's now we see how bad Sauron really is. Like, we've had this idea from the movies, right, or from the books or whatever. But I equate it to like Darth Vader. Like, we never saw like how Rogue One Darth Vader walking through them boys was the Darth Vader for decades. I thought in my mind that's how he was.
Yes.
The Kenobi show when he's just walking
That
through
too.
snaps teenager's neck like nothing.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, that's the, like, we never saw him throw down like that before, but when he walked through them, I'm like, in my mind, this is how I've envisioned you the entire time.
Dude, and
But
how
now,
cold was it? Everything got caught out here. And then that lightsaber lit up.
Yeah.
I got chills thinking about it, bro.
Well, here's the thing about it. Okay, if we're gonna go Star Wars, then I'm gonna go.
Just perfect.
Here's the thing about Vader, though. When Vader finally masters the suit, because he goes through a lot of suits, he goes through a lot of them. He learns how to use the suit to his advantage. So in that scene, he turns off his suit and is just using the force to walk through the hall and use the lightsaber. He's
so
using it to make them extra scared.
So it's really good to see Sauron like have his Darth Vader moments.
Yeah.
Leading up to what we see him swiping them up away in the Fellowship, right?
Man, yes.
He gave that young, beautiful elf that he was wooing her reward. You fell off the side of the wall. Oops.
Yep.
And it was like that. That's how it seemed to him. Just get out of here.
Yes, literally.
Like a little fly.
Like
you know what I'm saying? Yep.
So we do see Celebrimbor give the rings to Galadriel, give the 9 rings, the rings that he couldn't destroy. She goes off. Celebrimbor sort of, for lack of a better term, sacrificed himself, right? Or at least for now, for what we know.
It's if you think this is bad, I know what happens to him.
Does he become like a puppet of Sauron or something?
So, do you want me to spoil it, or do you want to wait?
Let's wait.
Okay, maybe when we get off of here, maybe. Because my mind is like, I think like
I want to wait because I want to see what destruction awaits this clown. I want to see it.
Hey man, like, I don't know. Oh, Moses said he had a little problem with Sauron's bloody bending.
Oh yeah,
Force blood bending.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
What's his name? Moshe?
I think. Well, yeah, Moshe. Phonetically spell your name in the comments so we can get it right. But I think we'll go Moshe.
Moshe.
Yeah, I like that. But dude, I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to the season finale, and I'm not looking forward to the season finale.
It's
you know what I'm
like
saying?
I said, it's one of those things where it's only going to get worse from here, and it has to for where we're going. But it's like, oh my gosh, where are we gonna land?
And I guess I'm trying to figure out what storyteller or what part of the story is going to be that glimmer of hope that we get next week. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think they nodded to it a little bit.
Moshe.
Yeah. But Layla's fine.
Moshe.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm gonna be saying your name for the rest of the night with my little ADD brain. Anyway, I think there was a moment that Celebrimbor said something to Galadriel about Sauron, how none of them could have done anything to avoid him or his power.
Yeah.
And there was a moment where I thought, but Frodo can withstand the ring.
He just a little baby hobbit.
But
actually, he's not.
I mean, but compared to Elf, he's a baby.
This is true.
He is an absolute baby. Compared to Elrond, when he meets Elrond is about 3,500 years old.
But you know what made me think what Jen's saying that too. What made me think about like when he gave the rings to Galadriel was and he said that it made me feel okay about not okay. They never saw it coming, even though they sort of kind of saw it coming. You know what I mean? Like they were like none of us could have honestly stopped it. And Galadriel being the person that we know over the last 2 seasons, how big of a fighter she is, how more like focused she can be in certain situations, she got swayed and didn't see it either. So I don't fault Celebrimbor fully for this. What Jen's told me is throwing me off because I'm thinking like there's worse things than death, sort of thing. It's sort of like that.
I'm sorry for throwing you off.
There are worse fates. There are first wait. How's the saying? There are worse fates. There are fates worse than death. Yeah. Sort of thing. I think that might be for Celebrimbor, unfortunately. And Jen didn't make me feel too bad. Made me feel that much better saying that.
But I had a thought after he gave her those rings. I was like, what if she had a Thanos moment to put all them joints on and was like, and just,
like that.
I'll spoil that. That's not gonna happen.
I know, but I had the thought like, just put them all on and get it over with. Just
drop that one stone and he felt it.
Yeah, I just let her power up right quick and just. Oh, so maybe she could walk through them orcs like a wheat field or something.
So yeah, I'm guessing she keeps these rings. I know they're gonna go to the kings. I guess the elves will hang on to them and they will then distribute these. I guess like how is she's running off with them?
So what I think is going to happen, because I remember seeing this in one of the trailers for the whole season. There's a moment where Sauron does find Galadriel. And he confronts her and she starts crying. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be the moment where he gets.
I'm sorry. Moshe said because Frodo lacks ambition beyond a cozy couch and some tea with some seed cake. You probably right though.
It may be a good pipe.
And yes, and some of that shire weed.
A lot of people are actually annoyed with the movie rendition of Frodo versus the book version of Frodo. There's a book version and there's a movie version. Mm-hmm. So Frodo in the book is actually a lot different than the one in the film. He has a little bit more gusto.
Oh,
a little bit more gusto. Mm-hmm. I got thrown off.
No, we were talking about the rings and the distribution.
I do think next week we are going to see that because that was in the trailer. So because he has to get the rings back for the 9 rings of men. They have to be given at some point. So he will get them. It's just how that's going to be illustrated in television will be interesting to see.
But I don't think they're going to show that next week. I mean, like you said, we have 3 more seasons to get from the Rings of Power. And I think they might stretch that to maybe next season 3.
It's possible. This
doesn't give me hope for Celebrimbor. He wished the Rings of Power have the guts to show Celebrimbor's fate from the lore. Okay, Jen, now I don't want to know. Okay.
Yeah, that's what thank you, Moshe. Thank you for putting that up there. Thank you so much.
Well, Moshe, I will say this. I would. They've shown us a lot of dark stuff from the beginning. I mean, we literally see Sauron get stabbed to death by a group of orcs in episode 1. Like
Caesar, your boy, good boy. They
don't hide that. So I'm not going to completely knock it until I don't see it. With all due respect.
and Jen, you are 1,000,000% right. They have shown a lot of dark stuff this season.
They're not hiding a lot of stuff. The only thing they hid was how bad King Durin went off on his own people.
Yeah. And they didn't actually show Celebrimbor cut his thumb off.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, oh man, when I went back to rewatch this episode, and when he was making the rings, you actually see him use it, cutting one of the rings. I was like, oh, I missed.
Yep.
But see, for me, not even seeing it made it worse for me somehow. I don't know why.
I know.
See, like for me as a movie or TV watcher, I think moments like that are so much more impactful
than seeing it.
Don't show me, because that communicates to me, oh man, that's bad. That's bad.
Because he was not getting his hand out of that lock. He was not getting it out of that cuff.
To me, it's just the thought of this man just sitting there at his desk. He don't feel none of this going on around him. He just in his own world making rings.
The power is sovereign, though, man.
And then to come out of that, bro, and to see your whole city destroyed, cuz.
And it's like, because there's a moment where he looks at his reflection and he's just like,
yeah.
Right.
Wait, what?
And was it me, or did it look like he had horns for a minute?
No, it didn't. I think it was just like
that's his hair or the way it looked.
Like, no, he actually has injuries on him. So I'm like, how thick was this illusion that if he's getting hit?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's getting hit with all type of stuff.
He's not even noticing that he's getting injured from basically the building caving in on him.
Yeah, man, it's all bad, and I still feel nothing for him.
So, okay, that's fine. But final takeaways from this, if there's anything that we left out, anything that we wanted to go over, Doc, anything on your notepad or ideas out there?
My thing is, like you said at the beginning,
and final thoughts. My bad. And final thoughts.
Like you said at the beginning, I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure this won't happen. I was like, maybe Durin split the army in two and sent half to go help the elves and half, back to the crib. Who knows? I would hope that happens, but I don't see it happening because, of, like I said, the whole bad blood thing between, Gimli and, Legolas,
the dwarves and elves,
rings, right? Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to see that, and then I'm really hoping to see the stranger. I'm not gonna call him by the name yet with the context.
Might as well at this point.
I'm really hoping to see him because I want to see that story. I want to see what path he chooses. So that's my hopes for next week. And I'm just like I said, I'm along for the ride, and I'm just waiting to see what happens, man. Like, it's been really good. It's been captivating from the first episode.
It has been. It has been. Jen, what about you? Anything that we left out, along with your final thoughts?
I don't think there's anything we left out. I mean, I feel like with each episode we go into, they pack so much in, including more lore. I mean, they name drop Elrond's mother's name, which if you look into the lore, like his parents, like their family's a big to do. Like I said before, Elrond's in this world, everyone is his cousin to some degree. So like for me as a fan, I really appreciate that they're really paying attention to that and that they're really going into lore. They're really incorporating a lot of these things. So we're just really at the point now where we're like, okay, it's the road to the fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be pretty.
Yep. Not at all. Not at all.
So I really don't know how we're going to land this. The only thing I can possibly make a prediction on is probably we'll see Sauron get the 9 rings of men back, just going off of the trailer with that little tidbit where he sees Galadriel again. So that could happen.
Okay. Well, for me, with one more episode, because this one was a little over an hour, like an hour 10 or so, hour 12 including credits or something like that. But I'm anxious to see what we wrap up and then cliffhang for season 3. Yep. Because now it's almost like, good grief, like we got so much else to cover, but I'm hopeful, man. I know it's like watching Rocky 4 for me. Yeah. Like, I know Apollo's gonna die, but maybe he'll survive the next time I watch it. So, but I think
that's denial.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know what's coming. I know what's coming. But I want some good times in there too, maybe. But I'm for it. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, the first 3 episodes sort of set that table, and then we got into it right after that. I think it's been sort of high in impact since then. Like I said, once Gandalf get his staff for this one, I want to see that. Like I said, finishing up, well, not finishing up, but getting a little more progression on Nori and Poppy and her nobody boyfriend. And then
love.
And then just seeing where we are from there, because and then Celebrimbor, man. At least Mina's out there saying it with me.
Poor Cella. You know.
Oh, I hope it's a, I hope that's a typo. Because I'm not calling Celebrimbum.
No, knowing my friend, that's not a typo.
Oh man. But yeah,
that's funny.
I think that covers this episode. Man, it was a lot to cover, but a lot of things are set in place. But I want to end on a happier note. Why did I do his name's nobody?
Yeah, that's his name.
That's his name.
That's his name. And look, his parents just picked the name last year, or a year before last.
Like 2 months ago.
This man like 30.
Wasn't that his name?
That's his name. Nobody. Yeah, for real.
No, like the name they actually gave him, but everyone still calls them Nobody.
Everybody still does. But I want to end on a good note. I wanted to put this in here last week, but my wife, who makes decorative cookies, had a Lord of the Rings party for an order, and these were the cookies she made. And I wanted to end on a good note, just because I'm not calling him Celebrimbum. It's been a rough episode, man. It's been a rough episode. So I just wanted to show these to everybody's watching and everybody. This made me feel good when I saw this, better than this episode did, because it's just destruction everywhere.
Yeah, man.
Wow, those are beautiful cookies.
Send me some cookies, man.
Can you hook me up?
I know a person.
So Dion, hi. How are you, man?
But man, I think that covers everything for this episode. It was a fun one. We got the finale coming next week. And man, Jen, I'll let everybody know where we can find you, and we'll see you back here next week too.
Yeah, I'll be here. Well, my name is Jen. I also, like I said before, I refer to myself as your favorite Nerdiqua. You can find me at Nerdiqua on Instagram, as well as my podcast, rocking_your_bald on Instagram. I am also on TikTok at Nerdiqua. I am on Clubhouse doing a Star Wars room tonight. Actually, we're discussing the new Lego movie show, Rebuild the Galaxy, which is actually very hysterical. So we're doing that tonight at 8:30. So you should come and join us, please and thank you.
And Doc, I've talked a lot. I love that you close us out now. So I'm just gonna give it over to you. Just pass there.
Take that. Hey, everybody, Tamina and Moshin, thank y'all so much for coming. Y'all
Nerdy Entrepreneur.
Nerdy Entrepreneur.
So much. And this has been another great episode of All-Star Fandom, the Fellowship of Fandom, the Rings of Power review. And you all can follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, All-Star Fandom Show. We have a live show every Wednesday on TikTok. Come talk to us. We just talking about whatever. And we have a live show every Friday here, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Y'all come check us out live, talking about the Rings of Power. And we're going to let you know next week what we'll be talking about.
My finger slipped. My finger slipped.
Really? We got to show a man again? I'm surprised you did not pull up the elephant scene. I'm really shocked you didn't pull that one.
Wait, it's just some technical difficulties over here. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
You were saying, was like, we're not going to let you do it twice.
But anyway, y'all come follow, like, share, subscribe, and talk to us, because we talk back. And thank you so much. It's been Doc, Jen, and Dion. And until next time, peace.
Later.